Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Friday. It's June 12th and it is 3:14 in the a.m. I want to do something that I haven't done in a very long time. I want to send a shout out to somebody. And this is somebody on TikTok. Sister's name is, her screen name is Fem John. And I want to say thank you for watching one of my personal videos, not something from somebody else that I usually post, but just hearing me out and liking the video. I appreciate that. I wish more people would listen, but it is what it is because I never entered into this for the likes. I started doing this just to have dialogue and conversation about certain aspects of life and, socio-political positioning. And, I believe that conversations open the door for change. And that's why I do what I do. And maybe I don't want to say maybe, hopefully lead people back to some of the things that we know that work. A lot of us have gotten away from things we did as children that were effective. I'm not going to say that we're 100% right. I'm not going to say that they were 100% effective. But what I'm saying is that now that we're older and we've gone through whatever experience, we can add our twist and our take to the things that we didn't like about them. And to educate ourselves about why these traditions or whatever is in place. See, we're now in the positioning of, it's good to be the king, or that's the phrase I like to use because the king was always right. If you question the king back in the day, it was off with your head, and then we're also in the habit of, if it doesn't apply, let it fly, which is a saying in recovery. But now we're living in airports because everything is flying. It's all about me. Nothing happens in a vacuum, and you don't live in the world by yourself. So, it's time to look at the rock and the ripple. As I'd like to say, if I throw a rock in a pond, that delicate ecosystem is changed. There's one more rock. The ripples may have stirred something up. So think about your impact in what you do and what you say. Now, I'm going to bring a personal friend into this conversation. Shelly. Shelly will tell you, and Shelly looks at my videos from time to time. Shelly will tell you, I am not going to sugarcoat anything. One, to make myself look better. And two, to help you live a lie. Let's drag it out. The elephant is already in the room. Let's drag it out and talk about it. But see, we're in the habit of lying about, covering up. One of the first things that we learn as children when we're able to talk and, comprehend a few things. And I know this has been drilled into my head, and it was drilled into my head as a kid. Don't you tell people what goes on in your house. And I know a lot of you have heard that. Now, in being indoctrinated into that line of thinking, that's what allowed the domestic violence to go on for so long in my house. That's what paved the way for all the levels of dysfunctional communication in my house. And I told you the other day, my sister paid me the greatest compliment. And I know it was unknowingly, but for me, it was the ultimate compliment. When she said, "You are more confrontational." Now, people see confrontation as a negative thing. For me, is that I've set a boundary. And as we say, you're not going to play in my face. And I'm very clear about that. And I don't care what position you hold. See, a lot of times people co-sign other people's bad behavior because they're afraid of losing something. And you heard me say not too long ago, people are labeled radical and revolutionary because they're not afraid to lose. And see, I'm a firm believer in a higher power. And that higher power I've called God. I will walk away from everything knowing that God has better in store. Please believe. Please believe. And I mean that in every sense of the word. If you know you're a child of the King and you're firm and fast on that, live like it. That doesn't mean be a pushover. That doesn't mean be passive. Jesus flipped tables. Jesus put hands on people. That it doesn't mean that, and somehow we've gotten it twisted. Know the limitations and boundaries for peace. And this may sound paradoxical because it is. Sometimes you have to fight to keep the peace.